So I'll start by apologising for this not being a complete video. Had a problem which is quite common, which is the side-to-side on the gear shift on this 1.4 TDI. This is a Fabia, but it's the same for other VW Audi group cars. You can see down here, this casting here, you've got a selector unit, which is this. This is a new one. And the arm of that goes through that casting there, and then the selector rod cable goes on there, and then this the white piece on the end here operates the lever. And you can see from here that's kind of ribbed. Now with the casting here, it's exposed on this end so dirt can get in. And also you get some corrosion, some furring inside there, and this rod, this arm here, just gets stiffer and stiffer and stiffer. And on mine, it completely seized, wouldn't come out, and eventually, this is the old one here, trying to get it out, that rod snapped off. And it was a complete nightmare to get out. So you can see down here, and underneath the selector lever over there, there are two spline bolts that come out the top. Took those out, took the connector, the selector off. This wouldn't come off to try and get this out, and there's no way to access either side. Eventually, I've managed to get this whole unit off here, down the middle of it, and apologies for the pour, you can see moving up and down there, down the middle of it, there's a shaft which goes into the gearbox. This lever, just with this bolt here, this whole top lever mechanism can come off and remove that, and that exposes the shaft, and that selects the side-to-side movement. Now if you move that left and right, this blade here left and right, that's where it selects your gears depending on where the position is. So this whole unit, when I took this top bit off and I tried to remove this whole unit, it wouldn't come off. But when I was trying to punch the remnants of that plastic arm out, this popped up and came away with the selector arm, which I was fortunate I managed to catch it before it came out of the gearbox, and I didn't have to relocate too much. So the point of this video really is to say, if you've got any stickiness in the side-to-side movement in your gear stick, that's probably the issue. If it gets seized or really stuck, it is a nightmare job to repair. This is a branded aftermarket part, which is £11 from Autodoc. For £11, if you've got a this car's done about 110,000 miles. If you've got a VW Audi with one of these and it's still moving, but the car hasn't been replaced in a long while, it's really easy just to replace it. If it gets stuck and you have to try and punch it out, it's an absolute nightmare. So essential maintenance, check that. I'm going to put some PTFE lubricant on there. The problem is if you put anything sticky in there, it's just going to attract dirt, and it's going to get even worse. So to get down there and to really access, you've got to take the airbox out, which is fairly straightforward, and the battery tray, which is 2 bolts at the back here and a rubber grommet. And then underneath the battery tray, when you've removed the battery, there's another bolt, and that whole thing comes out and gives you a bit of better access. But you cannot access either side of this casting to punch the plastic out. Now I wish I'd videoed it, but the plastic I managed to punch it through, but it left a ring at the top of it, which is kind of this. You can see it's hollow. It's left a ring in there which would not come out. I applied a bit of heat to it, still wouldn't come out. So I actually got a drill bit which was just too small, and I wound it in by hand, and that was enough to bite it and just dislodge it without having to drill it out. And it came out. I then got some some sandpaper on a drill bit, which I would recommend even if you replace this as a preventative measure. Get some sandpaper and on a drill bit or something similar, and go in there and really give that in here a really good clean out and clean off the furring. Otherwise you'll just end up with the problem getting worse, because the furring and dirt just traps between those little blades, little ribs there, and that's what causes it to seize. So if you've got any sort of stiffness in the side-to-side movement of your gear stick in one of these VW Audis with this sort of plastic selector, have a look at it. If you can replace it, replace it. If it will come out, great. The way it fits is you have a plastic clip on the end. This had two, it's like a C shape with that thing in the middle, and that goes down through the hole in there to lock it in place. Hopefully that's of use. I'm sorry I didn't video the whole thing, but it would have been impossible to try and video while I've got my hands down in this tight space. So this is the part I got from Autodoc. Which looks okay until you compare it with the original. So if I line up the bottom of that shaft with where it's supposed to be on the two, you can see the plastic clip on the left, this here, is set farther back because there's no recess there like there is on the original. So after waiting a week, that part doesn't work because it doesn't reach the actuator or the lever. So I've ended up biting the bullet and going to VW and get the part, which is this part number. This is an update to the original part number, and this is the piece here, and you can see it's got that recess. Looks good. It comes with the connector here, which I don't need, but you can't get it separately.